I had started martial arts before the Bruce Lee era came in. I told you. Bruce Lee came in around 77, I think. And oh my God, at that time we were like heroes, you know. We knew some martial art. He was a genius. His philosophy, his fighting style. If there is the last word in self-defense, it is Bruce Lee. But it was so heartbreaking not to go to that Olympics. Later on to see that your name is in the Olympic draw. So just a while ago, I came to know that I'm a double Olympian. If you Google my name, I've gone to 2 Olympics, 88 and 92. But 88, I was sitting at home and watching the bloody opening ceremony with tears in my eyes. And then subsequently, I met Rajiv Gandhi at the Parsi Dharamshala opening. He says, how was the experience? I said, no, I didn't go. That's it.
Episode number 250 is an emotional episode for me. Lately, we've been doing a lot of subject matter based podcasts on The Ranveer Show. Not done one of those open, heartfelt episodes in a while. Today's guest is my first guru in life. He's my sensei. He's my judo coach. He's been a father figure to me. He's been the first mentor I've ever had since the age of 10, since the age that I began practicing and diving deeper into the world of judo and martial arts. Kavas Bilamoria sir is an Arjuna awardee. He's a former Olympian. He's represented India in sumo wrestling as well. He's lived in Japan, honing his martial arts skills, learning the philosophies related to martial arts, and bringing it back to India. I'm going to say something about myself in this introduction, which is that it's been a difficult 7-year journey. That's the truth about content creation and business. It becomes even more difficult when you try combining both and growing your career along with growing lots of other people's careers with you. It's been challenging. And at every moment that I've felt a sense of challenge, I've gone back to the 10-year-old version of myself, trying to imbibe the martial arts mentalities from this human being. Very special episode for me. There's a part of me that is not bothered about how this one performs because I had to do this. This one was in my heart. You'll feel it if you listen to this entire episode. This is Kavas Bilamoria sir, my sensei on TRS. For more episodes like this, make sure you follow us on Spotify. We're a Spotify exclusive, which means that every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Before I let you slip into this one, deep thank you from my heart for taking us to 250 English episodes. There's about 120 or 130 Hindi episodes that we've released as well. I don't keep a track of the numbers unless it's a milestone episode like this one. 250 had to be with Kavas sir. This is my sensei presented for you, and I hope that you're able to gain some of those fighter mentalities, some of those martial arts mentalities that he transferred to my mind and heart between the ages of 10 and 16. Lots of love to you, sir, and lots of love to the audience. Enjoy the episode. Episode number 250, absolute dream episode. I remember episode 50 was with my mother. And after that episode was received well, I really thought of who I wanted to bring on. And the honest truth is, before I would bring on my own dad, I would bring on my own sensei. And sensei, for those people who don't understand the word, is basically your martial arts coach. Martial arts is never just about the moves, the physical tactics. It's so much about the mind. It's so much about spiritual growth in so many ways. This is my first mentor in life. Like right when you turn 10, when you're a preteen, you need mentorship according to me. And I needed it for so many reasons. Kavas Bilamoria sir, an Arjuna awardee, and my first mentor in life. I feel so much of everything that's happened in my life has happened because you taught me the right lessons when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, 15 years old. So firstly, thank you, sir.
Thank you for that, Ranveer. Really,
Yeah.
you've been a model student. Let me tell everybody. I mean, Ranveer, you've been a model student. You worked hard. That was number one. Winning, losing so many medals at MSSA was not what was important. You just trained to the best of your ability every time you were on that judo mat. And that made you special. Yeah.
Yeah. I have so much to tell you. There's things I'm going to tell you on this podcast that I've not told my own parents, that I've wanted to tell you for a very long time. But over the course of your career, my career is creative in nature. So in a creative career, you do so much self-exploration that you get to know aspects of yourself. So as I've inched towards age 30, I've realized so much about you and the impact that you specifically had on my life. I went for one of these self-exploration forums, and they asked me to name the 3 most important gurus I had in my life. The first one I could name very easily, which was you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I couldn't think of really 2 others to kind of fill those spots, but you were there. So, I mean, how many students have you even trained now in like martial arts, sir? Because you've had an impact on so many people.
I'll tell you, I started teaching in January 1986. I founded my own club, the Ippon Judo Academy. And I returned from Japan in 1985. After 6 months, I had planned a 3-month stay. At the end of the second month, I broke my 5th metatarsal. That is the little bone, Now imagine I had a visa for 3 months and I had enough money for 3 months in Tokyo. But how could I have come back broken and injured? No way. Because I had always imagined that when I come back from there, I should be better than the best and better than what I ever was. And that was not the condition I wanted to come back. So what did I do? You won't believe it. I had no money to go to a hospital. And one of the coaches there, the old coaches, judo coaches in Japan, all knew bone setting and first aid. So he told me your bone has not really shifted out of place. There is a definite break, because he could feel it in the sense the pain I was going through and the immediate swelling. So he said, it's the 5th metatarsal. And he said, I'll just do a tight stick crepe on, and it should heal within three weeks. I said, great. He did it. After the next day, I went hobbling for at least 1.5 kilometers to a place where wholesale sporting goods are sold. It's called Okachimachi or whatever in Tokyo. And there, under the train railway tracks, I find these size 17 basketball shoes. My size is 15 US. So I find size 17.
For those people who can't tell, so it's like about 6'5". How tall are you? 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'4.5" and shrinking now. I called my friend and I said, you had a job in mind for me. He said, yeah, anytime, go and serve at the restaurant. Second day after my broken foot, I was at this restaurant, the Maharaja in Tokyo. It still exists in Ginza. I didn't know what I was getting into. So I was called at 8 o'clock. I hobbled there. I didn't tell anyone my foot was broken. They said, your job is, first thing, clean the tables, lay the tables, clean the brass and the glass with newspaper and spray. After that, go up, wear the Maharaja outfit and the turban specially. Go outside and give the discount coupons for lunch. And then wait for lunch to start. And then only 2 things. Clear the tables, 3 things. Clear the table, lay the tables, serve water. It was so hard. Under normal circumstances, being national champion, I would have found it hard because all the tables are low in Japan. So I had to bend so much more. I was hobbling round and round that restaurant. And I don't know how the 5 days, that week got over. I just don't know how it got over. But the good thing is I got free breakfast, free lunch. They even offered that you come and have dinner free. But I was in too much pain to walk back at night. So I had the free lunch, the free dinner, and I got a salary of 90 rupees or whatever the yen equivalent was per hour. And that made me so strong because I got super breakfast. There were tandoors like this, where authentic tandoori was made. And it was heaven after that, because Japan is so expensive that I was always running short of food. And my foot broke because maybe not enough nutrition. But after that, there was no looking back. I continued working. I extended my visa for another 3 months, and I was getting money. And I was training early in the morning before going to the restaurant, finishing my restaurant, sleeping for an hour after my training, and then training for 4 hours in the evening. And it was so good. I came back from there, and I didn't lose a national championship for the next 9 years.
Wow.
So,
How
you have to give something to get something.
Yeah. You've been a national champion for the longest time. I remember these stories even in school, sir. What does it take to actually become a national champion of a sport?
I'll tell you. That something in the Mahabharata or something said, just do things without expecting anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just strive. And if you strive sensibly and hard, both, things will happen. And I guess they happened. Everything happens. Sometimes my nature is not so pushy. I don't push for things. Maybe that's a drawback which I have. But everything comes a little late though. So I've won so many national titles. I won a Commonwealth silver. I won a Asian bronze. I went to the Olympics. And yet the Arjuna Award came only in 1994.
Up till the age of 10, I'd not even really played any sport. I was still finding my sport. And I wasn't really good at football or cricket or anything. And my parents had told me, you wait till you turn 10, then we'll put you in martial arts. Because even when I was a kid, I was drawn towards martial arts. I didn't know. I watched a lot of Bruce Lee films, all that. And I knew that I had to be there. So, 5th grade, when I joined school, it's actually when school started in 2003. I saw this 6'5" man walking around looking super athletic. I was like, who's that? And I was naturally drawn to you. Then I found out that you're the judo coach, and 2 of my wishes kind of met. So I decided, okay, I'm going to take judo classes in school. And like right from the first time you taught that hip throw, oh Goshi, I remember there was like 8 other students with me. And you said, okay, who wants to be thrown? You threw your deputy that time. I think it wasn't Kushnur, sir, it was someone else. You threw your deputy that time, and there was this loud sound. Everyone got scared, but I really wanted to be thrown. So
oh my God.
I put up my arm and I said, okay, so just throw me. And you like did a judo takedown on me, like the most basic judo takedown. And I just fell in love. I wanted to like master the sport after that. I thought it was just about technique and moves and strength. And there was so much more. I asked my mom that, in her eyes, what was the turning point in my life? And even she takes your name. She says, judo. When you began judo, things started coming together. Now, parallelly, this is something I've never told you before. Around the same time, I started having very intense family problems at home. Like, a lot of things were happening. And I wasn't mature enough to understand what was happening at home. So there was a lot of aggression building up inside me. If I didn't have judo as an outlet, I don't know what would have happened to my mind. So it saved me, it protected me in like so many ways, which I've understood as a man in his late 20s, which is why I've kind of wanted to go back to it as well. But my question to you is, as a sensei, are you conscious of this non-physical aspect of martial arts, like how it's changing kids?
Let's talk about self-esteem. I am pretty sure that when one starts mastering the basic throw or technique, something he's adding more than just the throw. He's getting stronger. He starts looking better. His or her self-image improves. And therefore, slowly, it translates to his self-esteem. Unfortunately, Ranveer, parents today come and tell me, my child has been doing judo for the past 3 to 6 months as a core activity. and my child hasn't won a single medal, what will happen to his or her self-esteem? In the first place, why should that child be having an esteem in judo? I mean, why don't you just learn it for the sake of learning it? What makes you feel that you deserve a medal? As I told you told me, why did I do judo? I just did it. I don't know why. My self-esteem was improving and my mom was paying the fees and dad. And we were 3 brothers. We ate a lot in the house and money was hard. Okay, let me tell you. Mom was giving tuitions and even 30 rupees a month was hard. And the most important, my self-esteem was getting stronger and I was developing. I was losing. I told you. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I was last in the class in every grading. I was not good at memorizing the names of techniques in Japanese. Could not memorize so well. Nor was I good at performing the throw. I was bulky, fat, all over the place. And it was a disaster. Okay. So why did I continue? My self-esteem was improving. Now, what does the parent come and do? My child's self-esteem is not improving. Who are you to decide that your child's self-esteem is not improving? But they decide. And in the bargain, they may pull the child out. It doesn't matter when the child will win. This particular child could be me. The child could start winning after 6 years, after 7 years. Boom, one day. Boom.
Do you feel martial arts as a culture, like popularity is increasing in the world because of MMA and UFC and things like that?
Absolutely. But the times which I saw during the Bruce Lee era, I had started martial arts before the Bruce Lee era came in. I told you, Bruce Lee came in around 77, I think. And oh my God, at that time we were like heroes, we knew some martial arts. And when Bruce Lee did a shoulder throw in any of his movies, we celebrated it. And yeah, truly, he was a genius. He was a genius. His philosophy, his fighting style. And yeah, if there is the last word in self-defense, it is Bruce Lee and his art of Jeet Kune Do, the art of intercepting the fist.
Can you explain the philosophy of it?
Other martial arts compartmentalized fighting, in the sense you blocked and you punched, right? Or you blocked and you punched, right? Or you blocked and you punched, or you parried and you punched, and you parried and you punched. Bruce Lee blocked and attacked with the same hand. And if he attacked, it always meant business, right? If there was a serious someone with you with a knife, it was nothing but gouging the eyes. Straight. No nonsense about it. Or breaking the knee or kicking the groin. Yeah. There was then no hanky-panky that we'll punch you here and we'll try and... No, it was very practical and straight on. So a block and attack would be the same. Your left hand would be for the opponent's right, very compartmentalized in that way. My right hand would be, and my legs would block his kicks. Whatever kicks he gave, I would block with my leg. Genius. Absolutely phenomenal. Other martial arts would say, kick with the back foot. Bruce Lee will say, just break the knee or just break the groin. You don't need much power. Yeah. Otherwise, when you kick from the back foot, honestly, you're telegraphing, hello, I'm coming. And it's not going to work on the street, right?
Yeah.
So he's phenomenal. You don't need so much power to break someone's nose. Yeah. 6 inches is enough for me. Just 6 inches. Boom. And that's enough. It'll smash the nose.
So what's this black belt journey like? Like from the moment you get it and beyond getting your first black belt, when you go up the first dan, second dan, third dan, what's that journey like?
So it depends on the different martial arts, right? In judo, you are a fighting black belt till you are the 4th dan in Japan. That means I am perhaps the only fighting 3rd dan from India, right? I have won the red and white tournament to get my belt. Okay? I won the tournament. I demonstrated my kata in Japan and I got my 3rd dan from Kodokan. Many people have got the 3rd dan from Kodokan in India, or perhaps even more. But I know that they have not fought and won all their points in the Shiai. I know that in the Kohaku Shiai, red and white Shiai. I was fortunate that I had the time to spend there. I made the time. I begged and borrowed for funds, for sponsors. I begged. There were some people who would tell you, yes, they would sponsor you completely and the next day not take your call. There were some people who insulted you and put you down, but the next day they gave you the money. And there were some people who said, it fits into my constitution, in my trust constitution, here's your check. Right? So that itself was a big learning, that everything you see and everything you hear may not come true. The very next day, the person who has promised you the full sponsorship may not pick up your phone. So 3,000 rupees, 2,000 aise leke, I went to Japan. Anyway, so then the second time I went, I was an employee of Tata Steel. And that made it relatively easier. But look at the irony. We were allowed to take only $500. Only $500 when you left the country. Now, where will $500 take me in Japan? It would not even have taken me half a month. Right? So to go in 1989 to Japan, I had to meet VP Singh. And thanks to one Mr. Dosu Gandhi, I met Mr. VP Singh. And on the way to the airport, he sanctioned whatever I needed for the trip. $2,000. So it was a struggle. The journey of the black belt in our time, today kids in school are getting the black belt, okay? So many children of our school have got the black belt and they deserve it. I got my black belt after becoming national champion. So I started judo in, as I said, 1972, 73, and I got my black belt in 84. They presented it to me because I became open weight champion of India.
Yeah.
So the journey is hard. Second dan, third dan, hard because I got it from Tokyo. I used to go win 4 fights in a row on one day. Then the next week, another 2.
What are the tests?
Points.
Like, what are the examinations?
You have to, every week, there is a Shiai contest. You have to win your points in that Shiai. And if you win, you stay. So I won 3, 1, 4. Okay, I've qualified. Then I have to wait out the time period and give my kata, the form. Okay, second dan. Then same thing for third dan.
Yeah. What I also find cool is that you've done sumo wrestling. Like, I want to know why. And did you actually have to like bulk up?
That was hilarious. And honestly, those were fun times. In 1995, I have a 5th place in the World Championship. Not because maybe I was a great sumo fighter, but maybe others were not so good, other countries. And honestly, we were sailing in the same boat because sumo became an amateur sport and I was the early worm. So the secretary of the All Japan Sumo Federation caught me after the Kano Cup. He saw me there fighting versus the world champion, Ogawa. Straight from there, I went into the sumo dojo. You can Google it, the Nichidai Sumo Club, one of the most popular sumo clubs, one station outside Shinjuku. I think Nakano is the name of the station. Just out of Tokyo. Beautiful dojo, beautiful training center. And I lived there for 1 month or 2 months initially for training.
You had to eat chanko nabe and all
Chanko nabe. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, explain it to the listeners who don't know what it is.
So chanko is a dish where, there's a broth. The pot is boiling and we start training at 3 o'clock and the pot starts boiling and the rice starts cooking. And in the broth, you put all sorts of, one day you would have all the meats in the world, whatever the meat you want, you chuck in. One day it would be all fish, and there would be alcohol, beer.
Really?
Predominantly in the chanko. Yeah, it would cook and sometimes wine and then every fried food possible from chicken to pork, tender pork, cuts. I have never eaten such good quality and quantity food anywhere. In judo, it was always next to starvation. And over here, it was heaven. They would say, everything was on the house. I would be a guest. Ranveer, for 6 years, 7 years, they flew me. What 7? From 1990 to 2002, they flew me to Tokyo and back. I was like Bruce Lee going to Hans Island to fight. It was amazing. But the journey.
Do they actually try to fatten you up because it's an advantage in sumo? They do.
There is a weight category under 115 kilos. So I chose that.
Okay.
Because it would have been very hard to get back.
Okay. And other guys like as tall as you?
Yeah. I've played 300 kilos and brought the boy down to India also.
Really?
Yeah.
You've played someone who's
300 kilos. Emmanuel Yabro, the heaviest athlete in the world.
What was it like facing him?
I mean, he just did boom. And I went back and back and back and back and back. Yeah, Emmanuel was a great guy. He was once the world champion in amateur sumo, open weight, beating the Japanese and the Mongols. So the only people I've lost to in sumo, actually 3 countries. I lost my world championship 3rd place to a Frenchman. I lost once to a Mongolian, and I lost to a Japanese the other 2 times for my gold medal.
What's it like entering a ring with a 300 kilo person, but mentally?
No. I'll tell you what. I enjoyed sumo. There was no stress. I enjoyed it.
What are the rules? There's a ring and you're supposed to push the other guy out of the ring.
Yeah, either you push him or make any other part of his body touch the doyo, touch the ground before you fall.
Okay.
So twice for my silver medal in the Asian Championships, I used to lift my opponent on one side, right? With the belt, with his. And then I would bring him on his toes and then switch. So after bringing him here, he's trying to get his weight back there and then I would switch. Both the times I fell, but his right hand would touch before I fell. So strangely, in both the cases in the final, for my pool final, to go into the final, in both the cases, the center referee, Shimpan, gave the decision against me. But he was overruled by the 5 judges sitting around. And both the times I reached the final like that. Once I beat Kazakhstan and once I beat someone else. Yeah, Ranveer. So sumo was amazing. It was a dream. I can't believe that I've gone through these things in life today. When I look back, I fought in the Ryogoku, Kokugui Kaikan. Ryogoku is the ultimate place for sumo fighters in the heart of Tokyo.
Does it take a toll on your body? Like training for sumo?
Honestly, I never got any injury through sumo.
Okay.
And I've fallen off the doyo with 115 kilo Japanese on me. And from this height on clay. But strangely, nothing happens. Maybe it's that salt we throw before we fight. No, I'm just kidding. That's to drive away the evil spirits.
Wow. Do you remember me as a student?
Obviously.
What do you remember?
Diligent, absolutely disciplined, never missed a session, hard work, cool as a cucumber before the fights, and mostly coming out victorious. How many medals did you win in the MSSA, Mumbai School Sports Association?
From 8th standard onwards, everything. So 3 years back-to-back golds. And I think I won a few DSOs also here and there.
That's really awesome. It's not easy. MSSA has so many competitors.
Yeah. It was a very important character building phase in my teenage for sure. But I remember this one tournament that I've spoken about on the show in 6th grade, where out of 4 guys I finished 4th. And it was my first competitive tournament. And you didn't really reprimand me or anything. You said, okay, it's fine. We'll pick up and we'll go from here. So I sat in my car, I went home with my mom and I was like crying because I didn't like losing, especially after that level of dedication that put in from 5th grade and all of 6th grade. And even she told me that, no, you've probably not won because you've not put in the hard work required to win.
Yeah, the number of hours. Because somewhere it comes to that rule of number of hours, but sensible hours.
Yeah, that's true for sport, right? Like the more you train, the more the nervous system gets worked.
Absolutely. And even when I'm sitting and I'm focusing on my favorite technique, like I explained to you, that technique which I did, Believe you me, all the muscles are working.
Mm.
When I'm doing the technique, even my legs are working, but not enough to generate movement. But
Yeah.
mentally, everything is working.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just amazing. So that visualization, the deep breathing, the meditation, the mental preparation. I didn't know all that, man. I just fought. It's okay. The only time I took a sports psychologist's help, I lost. That was the only time I lost in the in the Indian Nationals after 10 years in Pune. I started my national career in Pune, where I got strangled to unconsciousness in 81, and it ended in 94, where I broke the shoulder. So I don't have a front deltoid. You don't know how hard it is. You qualify for an Olympics, like in 1988. With the bronze medal, I qualified. In 86, I qualified for the 88 Olympics. And my name and Mr. Sandeep Biala, who was fighting 65 kilos, bronze medal winner again, our names were sent up to the International Judo Federation. And I was going to Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's office, the Prime Minister's office, okay, every alternate night to tell his PA, forget the names now, to help me. Along with the then sports minister, Minister of Youth Affairs, or whatever. They sent an 8-member relay team and threw Sandeep Biala and me out. They didn't send us to the Olympics. Later on, I came to know that they are the ones who didn't send me. And I used to go and appeal to them to send me. It's weird. And I know, you go back, Google it. The relay team, India relay team of 1988. And you'll read the fiasco. Those girls refused to do a trial in India. Can you imagine? All 8 went to Seoul at the Olympic Stadium and had a trial 4 days before as to who will run. And obviously, they came last in the first 8. Our champion athlete, no names I'm mentioning, was feigning injury and she was injured. Yeah. All of them were injured. They came nowhere. And at whose cost? My cost and Sandeep's cost. Yeah. I'm clear about that today. Yeah. I'm absolutely clear. Yeah. It was hard not going to the Olympics. When you're at your peak, man, you're at your peak. You believe you can win. You believe. I believed that other than Japan, France, Russia, Korea, I'll beat everyone else. I believed. When I went in 92, that belief was not. When I went in 1992, I went with the thing that I will do my best. No, you can't go like that. You have to go to win. Right? I can't fool myself, right? It took me how many nationals to win a gold? 3 nationals. I'm not some brilliant guy. I'm not a guy who can just excel from word. It takes me time. Maybe second Olympics, I would have been better prepared. Maybe. But it was so heartbreaking not to go to that Olympics. And later on to see that your name is in the Olympic draw. So just a while ago, I came to know that I'm a double Olympian. If you Google my name, I've gone to 2 Olympics, 88 and 92. But 88, I was sitting at home and watching the bloody opening ceremony with tears in my eyes. And go to whom? To which press? Complain to whom? My whole career would have been destroyed by them. Yeah. And then subsequently, I meet Rajiv Gandhi at the Parsi Dharamshala opening. He says, how was the experience? I said, no, I didn't go. That's it.
But I guess that's the nature of sport, you know?
Yeah.
And it teaches you the nature of life as well.
Yeah.
Which is why in this particular episode, sir, I have one last question for my sensei. At 30, what advice would you give me? I'm going to be turning 30 in about 7-8 months from now. What do you have to say? Because you've known me since I was a 9-year-old.
I'm thinking what I'm going to do at 60. I'm going to be 60 in 2 months. Anyways, well, Ranveer, don't even think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about your age. Constantly evolve, constantly be passionate about something. Yeah. And strive towards that passion. Everything will take care of itself.
Sensei, thank you. This was a very intense episode for me because this is something I've visualized for a very long time to be able to create something with you. Uh, I genuinely, in my life, I've only had one sensei, and that's you. So it's always going to stay that way, even like, going forward. Uh, no matter what I do, I can't thank you enough for helping like the 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 15-year-old version of me just through my own teenage and pre-teen issues. Maybe you didn't know what was happening in my life at that point, but as I said before, you've had one of the deepest impacts in my whole life.
I'll tell you another thing, Ranveer. I don't probe too much. If it comes from the other side, it's fine. Otherwise, even if I know there is something wrong, I will not come and overtly say that, I will say, are you all right or something? But if someone is not forthcoming, I will not bring it because I'm not a trained psychiatrist or a psychologist to deal with it. If someone opens out to me, I'll give my 2-bit experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In my eyes, you were born to be a sensei for a lot of young, motivated kids. And you'll see the fruits of their labor in the next 5 to 10 years. That's what I'll say,
But
sir.
Ranveer, believe you me, I told you that I've been teaching kids since 91, 3-year-old kids. I've seen how they've grown, and I'm blessed to have had such a beautiful life with so many lovely youngsters. And it keeps me youthful. I don't even think I'm 60 or 40. It just, life just goes on.
Yeah.
These are numbers.
Gotcha.
Mentally, I feel whatever.
Kawas, sir, thank you once again. This positive energy is rubbed off once again on me and reminds me why I chose to do judo as a 10-year-old. Just thank you for everything, sir. Thank you. Means a lot.
Thank you very much for having me.
That was the episode for today. I think by this point, you can tell why this was such a special episode for me. There was so much I wanted to tell this man when I was growing up, but I didn't have the mental capacity to articulate my emotions back then. And it was emotions which were pent up since 19 years. 19 years of emotion came out in this particular conversation with Kawasa. There's no amount of thank yous, there's no amount of gratitude that I can put at his feet that will actually represent the gratitude that I feel in my heart for him. I couldn't cover all the stories I've been through with this human being, but have got some amount of that mentoring that I experienced between 10 and 16 when you're taking martial arts seriously in your life. Your relationship with your sensei is very, very special. It's full of respect, full of love, full of that warrior energy. And I hope that you experience some of that warrior energy in this very special 250th episode of The Ranveer Show. It had to be with Kavas Belmoria. So I thank you once again. And I thank the audience for taking us to 250 episodes. Keep following us. Lots more is coming your way. Follow us on Spotify as well. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll just end this one with a big bomb of love. Enjoy, guys. Thanks.